Today we're invited once again to believe in slogans over strategy. The Prime Minister has vowed to smash the gangs, and it echoes Rishi Sunak's fatuous promise to stop the boats, and Keir Starmer's own stilted echo of that same chant, as if repeating an incantation might summon a solution, as if three words are significant. Well, three words uttered by Julius Caesar, that tricolon, Veni Vidi Vici, might have been significant, but nobody's really very sure about the context of the statement, and indeed quite a lot of what Caesar wrote was polished after his death anyway by others. But let's be honest. This slogan, Smash the Gangs, is not a strategy, it's a theatrical ejaculation. It's theatre. And like so much of our immigration discourse, it conflates cause with consequence, agency with victimhood, and long-term vision with short-term panic. So let's scrutinise the government's supposed crackdown. Counter-terror laws are now being used against immigration crime. Raids are broadcast with fanfare. Arrests are staged with press photographers. But this isn't policy, that's pantomime, that's performance. The Oxford Migratory Observatory has made clear these new measures might reduce visa grants by 10 to 15% at best. The boats, meanwhile, are still coming. Over 14,000 people have arrived in 2025 so far, up 42% from last year. As one Home Office official put it, this is whack-a-mole, not war. Now, there are people smuggling gangs, but they are symptoms, not sources. You don't stop drug use by arresting dealers. You don't end alcoholism by smashing distilleries or pubs, and you don't manage global migration by confiscating dinghies in Calais. One of the most dangerous myths perpetuated by both government and opposition is that asylum seekers are merely trafficked victims, that they lack will or reason, that they are chess pieces moved by criminal masterminds. This is false. Many migrants are rational actors. They are not fleeing only persecution, but poverty, instability, and limited opportunity. They choose Britain because they speak the language, they have family ties, they believe rightly or wrongly that the UK is fairer than France, safer than Sudan, freer than Eritrea. They're also dependent on whoever is the first person that they talk to. And that first person that they talk to may actually be in league with people smugglers or traffickers, with or without knowing it. Consider the man interviewed on Newsnight. He had asylum in Greece but came to Britain because, as he put it, nobody wants to live in a tent. The Greek approach to asylum is so abhorrent, why would anybody want to claim asylum in Greece? But simply because asylum is unpleasant in one particular country doesn't mean that one has an option to claim it elsewhere. He's not wrong, but he's not persecuted either. He's a migrant with agency, not a trafficked slave. But the fact that he has moved from Greece to Britain doesn't mean that he's avoided the traffickers and the smugglers, because the people he turns to for help are almost certainly involved in those gangs. And the distinction about agency matters. This leads me to a deeper structural problem. Our asylum system, shaped by the 1951 Refugee Convention, is outdated. It was crafted in a post-war Europe when borders were rigid and flows were local. Today we face a radically different landscape. Global movement, climate displacement, digital networks, cheap transport. The principle of non-refoulement remains a moral triumph, but its implementation has become chaotic. Every person who reaches UK soil is effectively entitled to a hearing. But there are no meaningful offshore triage mechanisms, and safe routes for Afghans, for Eritreans, for Syrians are scandalously few. We must reform the convention as a globe, as a world, not to betray its values, to bring them into relevance in the 21st century. As Tony Blair said, reform not of the convention's values, but of how it operates. We need to examine the ECHR. Britain mustn't leave it. It should lead the way in reforming it. It shouldn't be blind to its occasional rigidity. Human rights must serve people, including those in host nations. So, what would a serious policy look like? It must begin with honesty. Migration will continue. It's structural and it's necessary. Democratic, economic, humanitarian. We need to manage it, not mythologize it. We need safe and legal routes, especially for those with clear claims. We need education in countries of origin and real investment in opportunity abroad. Tunisia needs skills programs, not night vision goggles. Consulates and processing centres in North Africa, northern Turkey, and northern France and Turkey must become routine. We must establish those, and we must change the rules so that the process of claiming asylum can begin outside the UK. Labour market reform is essential, so we stop incentivising illegal entry through under-the-table employment, but at the same time, people who have come here, whose cases are now being considered, must be free to enter our employment market and free to begin paying taxes and free to sort out their own accommodation if they wish to, if they're capable of doing so. Most other countries already allow this. In Britain, we put people in hotels and then we whinge about paying the cost. We need to ensure a proper digital tracking and identity system so that we can distinguish genuine claims from abuse. That means we need to be more aligned with the tracking systems already in place in Europe. And whether we blame Lord Frost for the absurdity of our losing access to that or not, we need to re-establish that access. And above all, we need to empower people to stay, not punish them for leaving. Because this is not about smashing anything, it's about building and about recognising that migration is not merely a threat, it is a solution to the many of the problems that we've got, to the pension crisis, to the NHS crisis, to labour shortages, to farming, to our moral obligations. And we should not repeat the mistakes of Brexit. Smashing institutions may bring headlines, but not stability. Don't smash something until you've got something in place to replace it. Tinkering, yes. Tweaking, not as in the Meghan Markle thing, twerking. Tweaking is no vice. It's the virtue of prudent reform. The government cannot simply outsource its conscience to Rwanda or to Albania or to Bosnia or to Serbia, nor can it outsource its credibility to slogans. Migration is not a menace to be contained, it's a reality to be governed. We will only win public trust when we stop chasing headlines and start crafting policy with seriousness, with compassion and with vision. And until then, we are not smashing gangs, we are smashing our own credibility.